Right.
All right.
So, again, everybody, thank you for taking the time this afternoon, or this morning, excuse me, for giving us the opportunity to provide some data related to codes and compliances. At the same time, we wanted to take a little bit of the presentation to just give you an update on overall Broan, as well as kind of walk through some of the product categories that help you meet all the codes that Pat walked through. So with that, my name is Nathan Arndt. I'm the Director of Sales and for the U.S. Pro Channel. I'm not here today to sell you the product. I'm here just to provide you some detail. Along with me, we have Morgan Jacobs. Morgan is an Associate Product Manager here in our kitchen ventilation. And then Pat Nielsen will be jumping back in later on in the presentation here to help us cover some additional product. So with that, Milwaukee, Wisconsin is the home base for Broan globally. Okay, we have roughly about 800 people that work within Broan. We are a standalone business, formerly with a group called Nortec. Today, we are owned by a private equity partner as well as a long-term investor. But at the same time, for the last 3.5 years, Broan has been on its own, if you will, in the business. Historically, we were two separate companies, Broan versus Newtone, up until the late 90s, where the two businesses came together. And then today, we operate a number of global facilities across, again, a number of facilities across the globe. If you look at the screen here today, I can give you assurance that Broan is not only UL certified in the majority, if not all the products we make here. At the same time, we are all HBA certified, which Pat mentioned. We have the ASHRAE code compliance. We are, of course, ISO 9001 certified with our manufacturing processes. And then the Energy Star code. We're very fortunate that Broan was a recipient of an Energy Star award again this year in 2020. One of the unique pieces about Broan and our sales efforts is that we break it out into roughly 3 different categories. We have the U.S. Pro Channel, which covers all the wholesale and builder initiatives for electrical, HVAC, and plumbing. We have a private label and appliance team that manages the higher-end kitchen categories. That would be Broan Elite as well as the best branded products. In addition to that, we have the retail side of our business. In addition to those 3 brands, Broan, Newtone, and Best, we also are very proud to let you know that we are the holder of the Venmar and Benet brands in Canada. And of course, the Zephyr brand is a separate business entity owned by Broan, which is, again, focuses on big picture, high-end kitchen opportunities. With that in mind, I just want to kind of walk through today and give you a quick update on where we are and where we've come over the last 3.5 years, as a standalone business. So as Pat mentioned it earlier in the call, we focus in on exhaust, supply, and balanced ventilation. The primary goal behind this is that we truly want to be the best in the category, and we truly are getting there, if not right there already. One thing I should note is that Broan is the only manufacturer that's truly based here in this category for residential use. 82% of the product that we sell and distribute in the U.S. is made here in North America. So it's very important to recognize that, Broan is a true believer, and we've done some work behind the scenes to make sure that we have a very, very strong and robust supply chain. The exhaust side of our business really comes down to a number of different categories. The 3 most well-known would be the economy or basic, the mid-level or intermediate, and then the premium or best products that we have to offer in the marketplace. Each of the categories Broan has been a part of for a number of years, if not decades. We're probably most well-known for our economy style fan, the 688, which is what we used to call the jet engine. Today, we're very proud to let you know that we have products that, again, go from the good, better, best scenario or basic, intermediate, and premium that can compete with the likes of the other brands available in the marketplace. One of the key pieces that we've been focusing on over the last 2 years is expanding out our exhaust ventilation to cover both the AC driven product line as well as DC. Now, AC versus DC, we all understand there's efficiencies between the two. The most well-known with this is that the AC-driven product line is static, meaning that if a contractor were to purchase a product from one of our distributors and it's a 50 CFM product coming out of the box, it's going to remain a 50 CFM during the operation. The value is that we now have a sister category of product that are DC-driven exhaust fans. So your contractor can purchase a bath fan that is adjustable speed, meaning that it can do a 50, 80, or a 110. So very important to recognize there. One of the key attributes that we are very proud of is that we really pay attention to the downstream code efficacy of the product. So when you have your builders out there that are out there specifying and accepting Broan as a product, and the contractor comes in and installs it, we want to make sure the product doesn't leak. air, and that kind of thing through the HERS rating process. So be aware that Broan has been working very hard to provide the tightest housings. Today, one of our intermediate categories, the Invent as well as the Flex DC lines, are leading that way and probably the tightest housing you can buy for the residential use in the marketplace today. This slide here gives you a quick depiction. The line in red give you an indication of the DC-driven product line, as well as the line in blue will give you a kind of an indicator of our AC-driven product line. So what you can see here clearly is that we offer consistent lines between the AC and DC products that go from 50 all the way up to 150 CFM. Okay. One of the key pieces about our expansion of the line is, again, we're trying to make it easier and more appropriate to have more room side installations along with the general new construction installation. We've adopted a product called the Invent a couple of years ago, and the sister brand of that today on the DC line would be the Flex DC product. As you can see here, there's virtually no holes in the can itself in an effort to make sure that, again, it doesn't leak. You'll find that with this particular product that the duct is actually installed from the inside can out. So you actually put the duct through the can and push it out the side of the unit. In addition to that, we are finding that contractors as well as builders are looking to expand on their cleanliness as well as the visual installation of the product. So we now incorporate a nailing flange, or excuse me, a sealing flange that can be used either to address maybe a poor cutout of a drywall, or at the same time use that flange to actually seal a bead of caulk to the top of the drywall to prevent any additional leakage there. Okay. One of the key pieces, again, the prior slide, Invent, the sister brand would be Flex DC. We're very proud about how quiet these new DC fans are across our product line. Gone are the days of Broan just offering that loud fan, as I mentioned earlier. For example, our 50 CFM fan, on the Flex platform is now just a 0.3 zone. Very much, the day, up to date and today's standards, if you will. In addition to that, snap fit flange, smart DC motor, air tightness, and adjustability, all key pieces that your contractors are looking for. One of the key pieces that we want to make sure you guys are aware is that not only are we into the bath fan category, we also are expanding our product portfolio to cover other attributes inside the bathroom. In this situation here, it's ironic that we released a product earlier this spring, specifically in March, called Surface Shield. And the idea behind Surface Shield is that we've added on a characteristic to our LED lens that provides a light that basically prevents or limits the growth aspect of certain fungi and mold. So I'm going to play a quick video here for you and give you an opportunity just to spend a quick minute here going through this.
Ventilation fan for Broan with Surface Shield technology powered by Vinyl Veo. Bathrooms are breeding grounds for germs, mold, and fungi. The warm, humid environment is perfect for these germs to thrive. With a flip of a switch, room powerful ventilation combined with Surface Shield technology helps protect your family by removing the humidity and preventing bacteria, mold, and fungi from growing. Surface Shield is designed to work continuously, operating at less than 4 watts. It will only cost 2 pennies a day. The Surface Shield light combined with a regular cleaning will help keep your bathroom clean and help for your family.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to share that. Again, Surface Shield, one of the pieces about this is that, again, today's environment, we're spending more and more time at home, and we want to make sure that we can provide that extra layer of protection when and where possible. A couple pieces are related to the Surface Shield. It definitely helps prevent Salmonella, E. coli, MRSA, and mold. In addition to that, this technology fits right into our standard product line. You can see here by the illustration on the page that it's a nice flat grill. The actual light has got a blue tint to it. It's not necessarily an ultraviolet light, but at the same time, it's on a spectrum that is not harmful to anybody in the home. Just to be aware that this product can also be used as a kind of a double for a nightlight feature, if and when it is needed in the marketplace. A couple pieces related to it, commonly asked questions. Yes, it does carry, and prevent, or I should say, it does prevent bacteria, mold, and fungi. Yes, by all means, it's safe to use. all the time when it's applicable. You're not going to get a sunburn from the product, obviously. Cost when running and maintaining the product, it again draws 3.6 watts, so it's very simple and easy to manage that way as well. Okay. In addition to that, we're adding a little bit more fun to the restroom, and we're also wanting to make sure you are aware that we offer a speaker platform, so you can actually hook up your mobile phone to a background speaker and listen to your favorite podcast or music while you're taking care of business. In addition to that, we recognize that the mood lighting and the visual portion of trying to wake somebody up or get someone to relax at night and that kind of thing. So we offer a product called Chroma Therapy, or Chroma Comfort, excuse me. So very cool piece related to that. One of the attributes about our product line is that we're getting to more, battery operated switches. So you can place that switch anywhere in the restroom or in the facility that you wish. So something to recognize there as well. Again, as I mentioned, Sensonic and the speaker side of things, great product. Frankly, it offers a very strong, stereo type sound to it. So excellent product there. One of the pieces that we want to recognize, which is more of a regional position, depending on the marketplace, is that Broan is a full line manufacturer of residential bath fan heaters. So along with, the standard product line, we can offer you a heat option as we move through our product line. 4-inch ducted fans, be aware that up until about 6 months ago, Broan only offered a 4-inch ducted fan in our 80 CFM product line. We have been working to rethink that and get that addressed, and today we are proud to offer a 688-4. Certain marketplaces are moving away from the 3-inch code compliance on the ventilation or on the ducting, and so we've enhanced our product to offer an additional scope there with the 4-inch option. One of the big pieces related to this in the 4-inch, again, is the IRC 2015 codes. So again, we are working hard to make sure that your distribution and your builders are ahead of the game when they're looking for the next product. One of the neat pieces about this is that, again, 50 CFM performance, upgrades. Upgrades are big these days because we're seeing more and more retrofits and renovations. We want to make sure you're aware that you can take a standard 688 bath fan and improve the grill either with a lighted unit, with a flat grill, or a designer grill as well. Again, big picture-wise, be aware that we have a competitive economy 4-inch branded product. Along those lines, we want to make sure that you're aware that we offer a full line of what we call builder packs to the marketplace. So your contractors and installers can buy the housing portion of our product line, install it, and then come back and install the finished kit, if you will. So be aware. One of the neat pieces about our product line is we offer a true recessed fan light that is probably the closest to whatever you're going to find in a traditional recessed light without a fan. So you can line a fan up in a row of recessed lighting, and you probably would never make out the difference between a true light versus the fan. Just be aware of that as well. 2 years ago, we pushed into on the residential side to convert the majority of our product line from basic lighting to LED. We're very proud of the fact that we've been able to get that taken care of with all of our products for the most part that we have to offer today. One thing that I want to make sure we point out is that along with the Flex DC product line, we now have a QT DC product line. And you'll note here by the screen that the 110 CFM rating is now only just a 0.3 zone, all the way up to 150 CFM at 0.7. So super, super quiet, dimmable LEDs, air tightness housing, as I mentioned earlier. And again, just an overall great product that competes with the likes of other premium exhaust fan manufacturers. Low profile, there are certain situations in building design today that requires a low ceiling or really has no room in the ceiling to put a bath fan in. So we're accommodating that by offering a low profile unit that can be installed in the wall and or the ceiling. So be aware of that as well. One piece that I want to make sure you're aware of this is that on all of our bath fans, with the exception of the base 50 CFM product line, we offer radiation dampers. In this particular unit, the low profile, you can't use a radiation damper for the wall, obviously, because you're going to probably exhaust it right through the wall to the outside, but be aware we do have that available if you're going to put it in the ceiling application. 88 and 110 CFM room sides options, again, we have those available to you. So if you have a retrofit situation, we can definitely make sure that you're ready to go there as well. Ultra Pro. One of the characteristics of the market today is certain markets require a 2-speed fan or continuous run. We want to make sure that you're aware that our product line can make that happen. We have the Ultra Green product lines that can be installed obviously it's going to run at a consistent speed. You walk into the restroom or bathroom and you hit the switch and it ramps up to the operating speed. But we do have 2 speed fans available for you to help you manage the whole home mechanical requirement if you choose. In addition to that, we want to make sure that everybody's aware that Broan offers a full line of accessories that are built into some of our products, humidity, motion. That's important in the fact that we just want to make sure that you're aware that we can help you guys in those marketplaces. As I mentioned earlier as well, we are definitely working toward wall switches that are easy and adjustable. In addition to that, hanger bars to help you center off and square out the application in the home. So with that, I'm going to pass over the mic here to Morgan, and Morgan's going to walk us through the kitchen ventilation side of our business. Morgan?
Thanks, Nate. So today my focus will be to talk to you guys about the importance of kitchen ventilation and how what to use in your individual design spaces in terms of style. So we'll go over codes as well in addition. So there is an indoor air quality problem today, and I think homeowners are becoming more and more aware of this. 60% know that indoor air quality has a greater impact on their health, and 90% realize poor indoor air quality contributes to their health issues, and healthy air can help prevent illness. So if we move on, Nate. So the importance of indoor air. So the EPA estimates that 90% of Americans spend their time indoors, and if that's not more truer now than ever, indoor air quality is 5 times worse than the outdoor air quality. And most may not know this, but the kitchen is actually the #1 source of contaminants in the home. So it's important to make sure we have the proper ventilation within the kitchen. Indoor air is indoor air is exhausted from the indoor contaminated air needs to be exhausted from the home, and then we need to bring that fresh air inside the home through the kitchen. And the CDC does recognize the importance of kitchen ventilation, and they want to make sure that we're doing just that, bringing bad air out of the home and good air into the home through both the kitchen and the bathroom. So moving on, why is kitchen ventilation becoming more and more important? It's because the open kitchen concept is increasing. So that allows contaminants from the kitchen to spread more and more throughout the entire home. In addition, there's a gourmet cooking trend, and homeowners are cooking more and more now than ever in their home. So you're generating more and more kitchen contaminants at a faster rate. Also, as Pat noted earlier, homes are becoming more tight. So while this saves on energy, it keeps contaminants in the house more so. So to do this, it's important to have proper kitchen ventilation, as range hoods can remove the contaminants at the source before they're able to spread elsewhere. If they do spread elsewhere, it causes it causes a lot of different things. It causes mildew, so kitchen ventilation can decrease the mildew or discoloration on wallpapers and ceilings. Ventilation prevents damages to cabinets, backsplashes, etc. It also will remove excess cooking heat and reduces mold and bacteria buildup on your countertops and cooking areas. So code impacts within the kitchen. There's new makeup air requirements that's becoming more and more popular throughout many states. HVI certification, as Pat touched on. Title 24 in California. This is making requirements for our CFM and zone values. It needs to be a certain CFM at 3 zones or less. And gas cooktops are also discouraged in California as part of that. So makeup air, some states have a makeup air code requirement for 400 CFM. You must be able to provide a path for makeup air equal to that CFM if you have a hood rated above that. As there, we do have a tool on our site that can help you determine if a state has those certain requirements. So there's several design considerations when you're talking about kitchen ventilation. We'll talk through all of them, but cooking style, the appropriate CFM, the placement of your range hood, the ductwork, and then also design and style are all important considerations to think about. So we'll start with sizing up the range hood. So for normal electric, induction, or gas cooktops under 60,000 BTUs, it's pretty simple. For every per linear foot, we recommend 100 CFM. So if you have a 30-inch cooktop, you need at least 250 CFM. If you have a gas cooktop above greater than 60,000 BTU, we recommend 1 CFM per 100 BTU. So if you have a 60,000 BTU gas burner, you need at least 600 CFM range hood. If you have a grill on top of that, you should add 200 CFM to that. So in this example, you need about 800 CFM if your cooktop is greater than 60,000 BTU with the grill. Some other important considerations to make when you're selecting your CFM is whether or not, or what the installation height you are going to install the hood at, how long your duct run is, if you have higher heat on your cooking equipment, so a gas cooktop, and also the width or depth of your range hood. So when considering the height, most conventional hoods are placed at 18 inches or 24 inches from the cooktop. The high performance hoods are placed 24 to 30 inch from the cooktop. And it's important that you follow those suggestions to be able to capture the smoke and odors appropriately. If you're going to increase the height of the hood installation spot, we recommend that you add 100 CFM per 3 inches above the recommended cooking height. Yeah. So higher installation means you have more space between the cooktop and the hood to capture that grease and odor. So that's why we recommend the extra CFM. Additionally, if you have a wider cooktop, we recommend you need to match your cooktop with the width of the range hood. If you're not going to use a kitchen range hood, then you're going to use exhaust fan and layout of that. This diagram kind of shows where we recommend you do not install that, so it should not be installed directly above the cooking equipment. So one of the other important design considerations was the ducting. So we always recommend that you duct your range hood out to the outside with shorter runs, as this will, again, bring that contaminated air out. We do have non-duct options, but again, ducting it to the outside is always best. So as we move on, we'll get into some of the range hood styles. Broan has a very wide variety of different range hood styles that we offer. The first is under cabinet. Under cabinets are great for retrofit applications. Just as the name says, these get mounted under a cabinet. And we have a wide variety from economy up to plus $599 price point. Additionally, we also have pro style hoods. So these are used for higher performing cooktops, so gas ranges, or you see them a lot for, I'll call it wok cooking. So these pro canopies can perform greater, and they'll be able to remove contaminants better. So if we move on to chimney hoods. So chimney hoods These are used a lot when homeowners want to use a chimney hood as their focal point within a kitchen. Chimney hoods are mounted to the wall, and there's several different designs. There's curved glass, T-style, pyramidal, and they typically do have higher CFMs than under cabinets. So again, they can be used for cooktops that have higher BTUs. So our next design range hood style is built-in or custom. This category is growing within the kitchen space, and we're seeing this for a few different reasons. Homeowners want to add a custom element to their kitchen so they can create their own custom cabinetry. And also hidden ventilation is a trend that is increasing. Homeowners don't want to see their ventilation all the time, so these built-in units are hidden away from the line of sight of homeowners. We move on. Sorry about the noise in the background. So if we move on, island hoods are another type of style that we offer throughout our line. So island are just like chimney hoods, except they're mounted above an island. We have several different designs here as well, curved glass, T-style, and then also a ceiling type mount that mounts directly into the ceiling. Again, these are a little higher performing hoods, so they can be used for the higher performing cooktops. The next style we have are down drafts. So these are also following within that hidden ventilation trend. So you can raise and lower your downdraft when you need it, and when you don't need it, you lower it and then you can't see it. So within our Broan line, our downdrafts are only capable of working with electric cooktops. They cannot be used with gas cooktops. And the last product style that we have is outdoor. So we offer a variety of outdoor range hoods, and this is important as, especially in the South, we're seeing a growing trend for the outdoor kitchens that have some sort of covering, and you are required to still have ventilation above a grill. And so we offer these outdoor pro-style canopy hoods that have a high enough performance to cover a grill. So as you can see, Broan offers a wide selection of different design and style options. We have some of the broadest ranges for that, and also CFM range. We have one of the broadest selections. Where all of our products are HVI certified, so that helps us out in the market. And we also have a great service and support team that can answer calls daily, which helps our Broan brand as well. So that finishes my portion of the presentation.
Excellent. Thanks, Morgan. Team, I just want to make sure everybody's aware as well as, Broan has been concentrating on the installation practices within the kitchen ventilation category or product over the last couple of years. It's our goal to make sure that it is easy, and I guess speed is a conscious, determinator of how we design product. We want to make sure it installs and is managed, very easily. So just be aware. Thank you.
Okay.
With that, I'm going to pass it over to Pat.
Okay, this is Pat Nielsen again. So I will cover fresh air systems. Go ahead, Nate, talk about some of the options here. So again, importance indoor air quality.
Pat, we can't hear you very well.
Oh, sorry, I had my microphone flipped up. Is it better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay. So Morgan touched on some of these. I won't go into them again, but all kinds of pollutants in the home, particulates, dust, pet dander, you name it. Moisture, we've talked about a lot. A lot of people don't consider moisture a pollutant, but at excess levels, it really is. So we need to definitely deal with those with our fresh air systems. So exhaust ventilation, in the earlier CEU, I touched on these three types. So just a real quick refresher, exhaust, supply, and balanced are the three types. We'll focus here on supply and balanced, but before we do that, Nate covered our exhaust line pretty well just before Morgan, but one particular product I want to focus on here that's well suited to whole house ventilation is our SmartSense series. This is a great option if you're going to use exhaust for your whole home because it works on a duty cycle. It will, turn the fan on and off certain minutes per hour that you set with this special control. So it's a very slick way to meet the requirements. If you're only need to move 60 CFM and this fan is moving 90, it'll run 2/3 of the time to effectively hit the number you need to hit. You can put in multi-fan systems with these. So you could have one fan in bathroom A run for a while, turn off, and in bathroom B, that fan runs for a while and turns off. So you can get good distribution of your exhausting of stale air, not just all out of one bathroom. These are also smart in the sense that they'll keep track of your manual use. When you turn this fan on for your morning shower use, it'll keep track of how many CFM of stale air you moved out of the house. So then when it's doing its calculations for how much more whole home continuous it needs to move out, it'll take that into account. So it's a very efficient system and you won't overventilate and waste energy. So Nathan, you can take these supply slides.
Sure. Excellent. As we kind of talked about, again, exhaust, we are fully capable of managing your needs. So about a year and a half ago, Broan made a conscious decision to launch a new product line because historically we were in the exhaust and we'll cover balancing a little bit, but we were missing the supply side of the business. There are certain marketplaces that require that based off of home construction being tight, that air be ingested into the home. And so we've been marketing a product now for about, again, 18 months, and it's an excellent product overall. So we'll kind of walk through this with you. So the first thing is, we call it supply fan because it brings air into the home. The idea behind this is, again, pushing air to meet the code compliance on air changes in the overall property or the building itself. We offer a couple of different options for this product, basic as well as premium. Okay, basic is just what it is. It kind of locks and loads in the installation side of things. You set it up, you plug it in, and then kind of forget about it. It runs accordingly and just brings air into the house. Okay. With that in mind, you can put this product in anywhere in the structure, the attic, basement, mechanical room. One of the unique pieces about this design is that it's a nice small product. It only weighs about 11 pounds. Okay, so when the contractor's installing it, he or she can install it vertically, horizontally between a floor joist, a ceiling truss. It can be installed upside down. It can also be installed with room side access. So the contractor or homeowner or HERS rater, for example, can open up the unit and pull the filter out or change out the filter, etc. One of the unique pieces about this, is again, and here we are trying to manage the code compliance. That's why we introduced the premium unit itself. The one thing that's unique about the premium unit is actually it takes into account the ASHRAE settings that are across the U.S. There are 8 different zones. So in this situation here, when the contractor installs the product, he or she can basically set it and forget it. One of the unique pieces about this premium unit as well is that it'll learn the use of the air handler, the furnace in the market or in the home, so it'll continue to work around and not work against the overall unit itself. Here's a couple of specifications on the product. I just want to point out a couple of pieces related to this. It does have a humidity and temperature sensor. It definitely is quiet. A lot of times you have a hard time even knowing it's running. It's that quiet and that still. So again, be aware that motorized dampers are on the premium unit versus the spring-loaded on the basic unit. And with that in mind, we're going to continue on and work our way back toward balanced ventilation. Pat?
All right, thank you. So here we'll talk about H&E RVs, a little more detail than I had earlier in the CEU course. Again, we're North America's largest producer of ERVs and HRVs. Our sister company in Canada, if you don't know, they started using H&E RVs almost exclusively decades ago. So they have a lot of experience, and between the Canada and the US, we have an awful lot of experience in this that we're bringing to bear in the US market here as the market for these grows. So as I mentioned in the CEU, before we start talking about H and ERVs, there is another way to get balanced that's short of an H and ERV. It's kind of, we sometimes refer to this as poor man's balanced. So you could run an exhaust fan and simultaneously run a supply fan. If you need 60 CFM of whole house ventilation, set your exhaust fan at 60, set your supply fan at 60, and you're ready to go. There's different ways you can control this. You know, it all depends on what kind of flexibility you want the occupant to have. You know, sometimes that varies whether it's a single family home that's owned versus a rental property. And, you know, you may want the occupant to have limited control. In this example, we're showing how you could have one master switch. When you flip this on, both supply fan and exhaust fan run at 60, and then you could have a supplemental switch just for the exhaust fan, which would kick it up from the 60, excuse me, to the full 110 power. So again, there's different ways you can set up these controls, but a combo exhaust supply fan can give you a nice little balanced system, but again, without any energy recovery. So I mentioned earlier in the CEU, an ERV recovers both temperature differences and humidity differences, while an HRV focuses on just the temperature differences. These units recover 60 to 80% of the difference in those, so they can really help you a lot. So here is an example of how much these can help. We'll look at the dry climate example first. If you look at, you know, obviously in Las Vegas, the dew point outside may be as low as 15 degrees, which is extremely dry. While indoors, you're trying to maintain some humidity. So as you can see here, the stale air from the building is a 55-degree dew point. So you don't want to lose that humidity. When you go through an ERV, the outgoing stale air, that humidity will get caught in the core, and the incoming dry air will bring most of it back in. You can see the result is the pre-treated air coming back into the home has a 50-degree dew point. So you can see how helpful this can be in maintaining a very comfortable environment. And then the example of a humid climate, you know, you can think of Orlando, you know, Houston, Texas, any of these cities get very humid. The outside air could be 80% RH, while your stale air inside is only 50. You don't want to bring all that humidity into your home, nor the heat, because your air conditioner is going to work overtime. So as a result of passing through this ERV, you'll end up with about a 65% RH. So about half of the humidity will be kept outside, so your air conditioner isn't working overtime. So you can see in, you know, kind of real world terms here how these units can help save you energy. So Broan has probably the widest expansion of units available on the market. We have 31 different residential models. These are based on 4 different series. I'll get into a few key pieces of that, but we refer to them as the Flex series, Sky series, Advanced, and our high efficiency for extremely tight buildings where you're really going for green certifications and so on. We have both heat and energy recovery ventilators. And as well, we offer 29 light commercial models. You know, these usually start at about the 200 CFM range and go up to, you know, 600 CFM and greater. So no matter the application, residential, light commercial, no matter the climate zone, no matter the budget, we have a solution for you. So 3 very commonly used platforms we'll focus on to try to keep this as simple as possible for you are our ERV S100S, which is our Sky series, our 130 unit here, just kind of more middle of the road, and then our high performance series, which is especially efficient. So the Sky series has a lot of great benefits. One is it's cost effective. This is our lowest price point unit, very popular. For southern climates, this was kind of originally specifically designed for hot, humid climates, but also works well for hot, dry climates. But it has a temperature and humidity sensor in it, so it can detect the situation with the incoming outdoor air and adjust accordingly. The key with this is its size. As you can see, it's only 9 inches high, so it can be used for apartments, any place where space, especially vertical space, is at a premium. They come with 2 speeds, a 65 or a 105. In most situations, probably 80 to 90% of single family homes, your lower setting of 65 will be plenty. If you recall from the CEU course, any home up to 3,000 square feet and 3 bedrooms uses only 60 CFM. So you can set it at this as a low constant. And then if you ever have a party and so on with more pollutants and carbon dioxide, you want a little more fresh air, you can put it up into boost mode to 105 CFM. It has 6-inch ports all on the side. As you can see, we put those on the side again to save space. So as opposed to a top or bottom port, you know, you'd run into issues there. Brackets are included. As with all ERVs, there's no drain required. That's a key difference between ERVs and HRVs. I should have pointed out earlier, with an HRV, there's nothing in the core that's gonna absorb humidity. So as that incoming humidity, you'll need a drain line to get rid of that. With an ERV, it's all just gonna go into the other airstream. So that's another advantage of an ERV. They're a little more cost effective in terms of the amount of labor involved. And the other thing great with this is it has a drop down door. You mount it in the ceiling, and when it comes time to service it or clean the filter, you don't need to climb in the attic or anything like that. Right from the room side, you can drop down a door and service it easily. The next one, this is kind of our mid-range level, is our 130 CFM series. We offer these in H&E RVs. For 130 CFM, for a pretty powerful unit, they're very compact in size. In terms of the orientation, they're flippable, so you don't have to worry about you know, what direction the dampers are hanging and things like that. So very, very flexible in terms of their installation. Again, given the amount of power and energy efficiency you get out of this unit, they're very affordable. The powerful, they're up to 150 CFM. Again, this depends on your static pressure, how airflow friendly your installation is, but again, very powerful. So in terms of the home builders out there, this unit's going to meet the needs of probably 95% of homes. When you look at again, the ASHRAE tables for how much air you need for different size homes, this 130, 150 is going to take care of everything but the, you know, largest of homes. And here lastly, but definitely not least, is our HE series, our high efficiency series. So this is extremely superior core and motor efficiency. This has one of the ECM motors we mentioned earlier that are extremely efficient. Nathan mentioned these when he was talking about exhaust fans. In terms of CFM per watt, you may recall that I mentioned the new energy efficiency code requires that H&E RVs be at least 1.2 CFM per watt. These units are all at least 2 CFM per watt, and they go up to even 3 and 4 depending on the model. So they're 2 to 3 times more fan efficient than what's required even in the, you know, energy step-up code. These allow for electronic balancing on the higher end 200 and 250 models. They have 13 presets, so very adjustable, even have infinite adjustability if you want to go that route. Again, speaking of the fact that this is our high efficiency series, the SRE, which we haven't talked about much, but that's your sensible recovery efficiency. That's the amount of temperature difference these will be able to recover. We go up to 88% of these, which is, you know, just crazy efficient for people building, you know, passive house homes and things like that. This is the type of efficiencies you're looking at. In terms of filters, they come with a MERS 6, but they also have a HEPA option. So HEPA, again, when you're worried about particulate matter, PM 2.5, you live by high traffic areas, this is the way you want to go. And just the fact that this unit can handle a HEPA option Many units can't handle those because HEPA level filtration can really put a burden and add to your static pressure. But these motors are so powerful and efficient, they have no problem handling an upgraded HEPA filter. All 6-inch ports, and again, if the 130 units that I previously talked about aren't large enough, you're talking about very large homes, these will be able to carry the mail all the way up to 250 CFM. Here again, I mentioned this in the CEU course, but just for a little reminder again, when it comes to the types of installation, you kind of have the good, better, best here. Simplified is using all existing ducting, your return and supply air plenums, lower labor costs and so on. This is a common approach for retrofit. The kind of better solution is dedicated exhaust. Let's pull the stale air that goes into the unit from the rooms that have the worst air in the home, the bathrooms and kitchen. Let's pull our stale air from there, but then you can still dump your fresh air into your HVAC existing plenum system. And the best approach, which if you're looking for best indoor air quality, is fully ducted. So here we both pull the stale air from the kitchens and bathrooms, but also on the fresh air coming in, let's dump that great fresh air to where we spend the most time, the living rooms and bedrooms, duct it to those rooms directly, take maximum advantage of these indoor air quality benefits of these great units. So coming soon to distributor near you, we're very excited that we're very soon going to be launching our new system. We call it with Virtuo technology, the artificial intelligence series. These are going to have unmatched installation ease, unmatched CFM per watt, unmatched recovery. The technology and artificial intelligence in these is just going to be incredible. Our engineers have been working on these for a couple of years now, and the result is going to be unbelievable. So you can flip to the next slide. I can talk about some of these features. So they'll go up to 160 CFM. Again, that's going to cover 95% of homes. It's up to 75% SRE. So again, great sensible recovery efficiency that is going to meet just about any code out there, unless you're, again, going for passive house or something like that. These have PM SM motors. This is the next state of the art in terms of motor technology, even beyond DC and ECM motors. PMSM stands for permanent magnet synchronous motors. I mentioned earlier, I was talking about efficacy. These will all be over 4 in terms of their CFM per watt. So extreme efficacy. They'll have MERV 13 filtration, which again is a new requirement in California and will soon likely be a requirement in other states. They come with a universal bracket, and even with those great features, perhaps the coolest part of this is going to be the Virtuo air technology. They're going to be auto balancing. Normally when you install an H or ERV unit, the HVAC contractor has to go through some steps to make sure your outgoing airflow and your incoming airflow are relatively equalized. This is going to handle that all by itself. It'll look at the 2 pressures on each side, determine the CFM, and it'll bring them both into, it'll marry both CFM so you know it's auto balanced. Airflow verification. These will have an LCD screen on the outside of the unit. You tell it what CFM you want, it'll give you that and make sure that both airstreams are hitting that number. So crazy technology we'll have in these. I mentioned these earlier, PMSM motors. So not only great recovery efficiency, but up to 37% more efficient than even an ECM motor, which have been the state of the art, and 60% more efficient than a PSC motor. We specifically designed these units for this new H&ERV series. Nathan can talk to you a little more about availability, but I believe we're set to have these ready for the market in Q4 of this year. So something for you to look forward to. It's going to be the best technology on the market.
Yes, Pat is accurate with that. First launch on the mid-range product. I think there's going to be 6 SKUs be right at the tail end of September, and then the remaining SKUs being launched this year will be available the first 2 weeks of October. So yes, we're very excited. Excellent. Well, with that, just wanted to open up the call again to take any questions. You know, I have to tell you before we do that is, you know, Broan is truly taking steps, and if you ask me, taking, you know, climbing leaps and bounds to make sure that we can provide the best product at the best price point with the most aggressive technology available to help you guys satisfy the need. So again, thank you. Again, open up to questions.
Well, while everybody are thinking of their questions, I want to thank you guys so much for your presentation today. You provided so much great information. I know that everybody on the call definitely can take something home with them, and they've learned something today for sure. I want to also remind everybody that Broan is a member of Builder Partnerships. So we have a very close relationship with Broan, and we're very happy to have that relationship with them. Zach has a question. Will the ERV 130 be able to push through a MERV or MERV 13 filter?
Yes, that will be able to. Just a second, I'll check and make sure I have that right. I'm gonna have to double check that and get back to you on that. I don't have that answer right in front of me. I apologize.
Zach,
Nathan, do you happen to know on that one?
Excuse me, I was on mute. I believe it is, and we'll verify that and we'll send that over to you.
Yeah.
Zach, if you want to send me your email on the chat real quick, I can make sure that those guys get it so they can get back to you, your email and or phone number, whichever's the best one to reach you at. John Karowski is asking if HVAC contractors are certified by Broan. Or HVAC.
I'll take that question.
Sorry, go ahead.
So historically, the category has not. We are exploring, we do have a program, or did have a program similar to that in the Canadian marketplace, where the ERV and HRV are pretty much standard across the US or across the country in Canada based on the code. To answer your question today, we are working on instituting a program that will be launched at the end of 2020 going into 2021.
Excellent, thank you. And then John, your second half of that question was, will this presentation be available to us for future reference? And we did record the product update section. We did not record the CEU portion. That was not available for recording. So but I feel like they did cover a lot of the things, they did cover a lot of information in both sections. So this will be available for viewing on our website. You can go to builderpartnerships.com/events #webinars, and you'll get that link in your follow-up email tomorrow so that you can go on there and select this webinar to watch. Kevin Morris asks if ERV 130 FLS can take MERV 13 filters used in California.
I think that was the same question that we just had. We have to get back on that one.
Okay, all right. And so Kevin, I will, I can send them their email, your email too, if you want to send that to me, and I'll make sure that they get back to you on that. Are there any other questions? Okay. Well, with that, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. And oh, I have one hand up. Hold on, let me make sure. That is Kevin. I'm going to let you talk real quick, Kevin. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, I see Kevin chimed in. He was actually answering the question. The ERV 130 FLS can take MERV 13 filters.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate that, Kevin. Kevin is based in California for us, so he's acutely aware of the capabilities of our ERVs out there. We're selling a lot of ERVs in California with the new Title 24 code, so he's on top of it.
Gotcha.
Well done, Kev. Well done.
It's a team effort here today. All right. Well, I think that's it. Is there any other questions? Looks like there's not. So I want to thank you guys again for joining us today. We will be back next week for Webinar Wednesday with the financial analysis. Emma just finished that up. So Chuck will be presenting that with her next week. So look for email on that coming out this weekend or this Friday. And thank you again for coming. And thank you, Broan, so much. We always appreciate working with you. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.